Are we back on?
Yes, we're back on. We are recording. I'll leave my screen off because there wasn't really anything on there to share anymore.
Okay. Possible bylaw amendment. Lisa, do you want to give us background on this?
Yes, so the current bylaws state that the submittal must be by 5 p.m. On the Tuesday, 3 weeks prior to the regular zoning. However, due to the local newspaper no longer being in Petoskey, we get people in New York, Minnesota, Illinois, various places. So their submittal deadlines continue to get further and further out. It used to be if I submitted something to the news review by 4 o'clock, Monday through Thursday, it was published the next day. By 3 o'clock on a Friday, it was published on Monday. They no longer have a Monday paper. It's Tuesday through Saturday. So at this point, the deadline would be on Tuesday, and I would have to have everything submitted to the news review by 10 a.m. on Wednesday to make the cutoff for the 15 days prior to the meeting. That's very difficult to do because I also have to confirm a quorum, review the application, and if it's at 5 o'clock, that's hard to do. So my request is to change the ordinance or the bylaw language to the designated deadline as stated on the annual meeting schedule, and that way, anytime this changes with the newspaper, the bylaws don't have to be amended, but rather the annual meeting schedule that you approve, typically November, December of each year, would just need to be amended accordingly to adjust that date if need be.
Seems to me like a very sensible request.
Mhm.
You're doing so much work for us to make your life a little easier. This seems like a very modest accommodation and helpful to you. So I would support that.
Okay.
I would say the only thing that I would maybe suggest that we do is that since this is going to be a changing item every year, that we set our schedule, that we be sure that we're always setting our schedule about 3 months before the current year schedule ends, so that in other words, people aren't waiting till the end of December to find out when submissions are for January.
And the other thing is we've, well, historically tried to do that because we don't know when ZBA meetings are going to come about. So, I mean, last year we happened to have one in December, but I don't think we had one in November. I think it was October. I'm not really certain, but it's hit or miss. So
If that were to occur, could we just meet by Zoom for the purpose of doing this?
we would have to schedule a public meeting. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I don't know that you could do it via Zoom. You could actually.
Okay,
It would
but
have to be
with
in
respect to that, if we had to come down here for 15 minutes to do this, just to make
Right.
sure that people, have some advance notice of the
Right.
schedule.
And that's something that, I mean, if that's something that the board would like, we could plan on September in hopes that, whatever that next
Right.
meeting would be after, as of that first Tuesday in September. From that point on, the next year's schedule could be set, and that way
That'd be great.
we'll catch it at some point,
Mhm.
if that works for the board.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, so do I have a motion on the possible bylaw amendment?
I move.
A second?
I'll second.
Take
Do you want to
vote.
do roll call? Okay,
Yes, please.
grab my sheet, sorry. Okay, Brown,
Yes.
Clinton,
yes.
Heinrich,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes,
no.
Yes.
right, the bylaw is now amended as presented. Next up is possible amendment to the 2023 meeting schedule. So we had discussed this before. City staff is proposing to change the regular meeting time from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. to be consistent with other city boards and commissions. We were asked about this before last year, and it was not convenient to most people. I don't know how people feel about that.
I
Still,
prefer it actually, but I don't know about anybody else.
Prefer which, 6?
o'clock.
I would prefer 6 as well.
Like 7, but I'm flexible.
You know, not having any experience with this issue other than today. One of the questions or concerns that I had was moving it to 6. I think it's, of course, valuable for us to receive as much presence and input from the public as we can. And sometimes there are those of us that work till 6. And that may be people in the public that might want to come. And their desire to be part of the process is, I think we all know is a valuable thing. And I was just wondering if when the other city commissions or et cetera, when they discussed and apparently agreed to move from 7 to 6.
Well, I can tell you
What
that
factors did they take in?
the planning commission was going through the master plan at the time, as well as doing site reviews, and so their meetings were going till 10 o'clock at night. So that was part of the reason that they moved it to 6 o'clock. Because their agenda was so full, they weren't getting through it. City council, I don't know what their reasoning was.
I don't either.
And
I
I'm
think
surprised they used to meet at 8 and then moved it back to 7. So I think it's a concern for the public being able to get there at 6 o'clock.
I can go either way.
Yeah,
It doesn't bother me.
same with me.
You know,
I would prefer 6, but 7 is fine too. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but I will say, I don't know that I should weigh in too much on this, because it is my last meeting. My term was up in April, and that was my 3rd term on here. So after 9 years, I think it's time for me to do something else. So if people want it at 6, I think you guys should do what you want. But my concern would be giving public adequate time to get here. And
No, I agree with that. Let's leave it at 7.
keep it at 7.
It's fine.
We're easy.
Yeah.
okay, and do we need a motion for that, Lisa, or just, if we're not making a change?
the other part would be, on the schedule, I did add the deadline for the meeting
So we
submitting.
need to adopt that.
So you could, approve the proposed meeting schedule and deadline with the change of keeping the meeting at 7 p.m.
With meetings,
Oh.
meetings, just change that to 7 p.m.
Yes.
The regular zoning board of appeals meeting shall be conducted at 7 p.m. the first Tuesday of the month. And then concurrent with the rest of the information on there. All right, and do I have a motion for that then, please?
I move that we adopt the 2023 meeting schedule as provided with the amendment that meetings will remain at 7 p.m.
I'll second that.
And do we just want to do an aye? All in
That's fine with
favor?
me.
Aye. And then last on the agenda is, well, for new business, is election of chair and vice chair secretary for the coming year.
I was gonna nominate you again.
I think she has to do it.
I tried.
Quite curious. Is it your intention to continue or to depart the board?
To depart the board,
And how long have you been on the board?
9 years, plus a couple extra months.
I thought that 12 was the general.
Sounds good.
It's a good number.
You could stay, could.
Well, I was on the library board for 2 terms, 10 years. I've been here 3 terms, 9 years. I think every decade it's good to do something.
This may make no difference, but if it does, great. I've been on a fair number of boards and seen the chairman function and manage. Tonight you demonstrated to me a superior level of capacity in that. And if you don't stay, we will be a little less better. We wish you well, but boy, I wish you would stay. I know
Well,
it's
thank you.
personal.
It was a difficult decision. I think the work that we do here is very important, and I've been very proud of the work that we've done here, and to work with you guys has been great. And hopefully the mayor will find someone else to come in and just bring in the perspective and new enthusiasm and some good skills. Sure.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Indeed.
So when
Learned a lot from him.
does your term end?
What ended in April, so I'm on this.
Thanks, everyone.
You have to come back to the next few meetings, at least sit in the audience and share your knowledge with us, like, oh, no, you know, and I'll be going. Watch you for cues.
Well, to address the concern about officers for this coming, going forward. Interestingly enough, I had also considered leaving. But when I found out you were leaving, I wasn't gonna put the board, it wasn't as urgent for me. I've been on as long. And so when I found out you were leaving, I said I would at least stay till the end of my term, which is April. And possibly even longer, depending upon how long it takes to fill the position. But having said that, I will do so only if I am not chair. Because I still feel I am better sitting in the position I sit in. I'm not good at consensus building. You know, I'm a lawyer, right? I just want it my way. And that can't be the way the chair is, right? So, I mean, I'm willing to stay, but I invite one of our other board members to step up to be fair. And that's the trade-off I will ask that, I'll stick around for a while, but.
I tried to get her to commit to that too, but.
No, I'm already on a vice on another board, and I just signed up this within the last year for another kind of ongoing commitment, and I need to scale back too on some things, so, but I'll transition out of this eventually.
Appreciate that.
So who wants to be chair?
I would do it if no one else wants to.
I think you'd be good at it, actually.
Thank you.
Chris, you're very, very level-headed and thoughtful, so.
Thank you, Chris. I would support that.
We need a motion for should we?
We can do, you can do them both in one, or you can do them separate, the choice.
So do we have to have a secretary?
A vice chair / secretary who would basically step into the chair role should the chairperson be absent.
Yeah, so it's just
And then
two then.
reviews minutes.
Because I plan on being absent a lot.
Well, I think it'd be good if someone who is not Chris or me make the motion then.
Is that, I missed that. Are you volunteering?
Are you there?
You gonna pick as vice chair then?
Yeah, yeah, that's why I say I'm not gonna leave. I mean, we're not meeting that often.
Yeah.
So I'm not, yeah, hopefully, but and I mean,
We need the practice, but.
yeah, I do still.
Watch, we're gonna
Exactly.
have 5 cases next time.
I know, and I have to go back to the hip surgeon. I don't know if I may need another new hip, so, yes, I'll be here for a while.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so Chris as the chair, Mary as vice. Do we have a motion for that?
I can make that motion. Want me to state it or do you?
That's
want it?
okay.
Okay.
And then a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Uh,
I just took over on you.
Contested racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no public on,
No public, no public comment.
updates, and I know Bill Brown, or I'm sorry, Jim Nibbs had asked about an update on the Matt Prince property.
Yes, so the city attorney has reached out to him yet again to get that taken care of. He gave him 30 days, so I believe June 23rd is the deadline for him to have the roof and the walls removed from the structure. I believe at that point, if it's not taken care of, then the citations will be going forth.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
I have, we have a zoning code enforcement officer now. Is that correct?
Yes, he started 2 weeks ago yesterday. So he's just getting his feet wet, but he is, his presence is well known already. People talk. It's Tony Bellamonte. And so he actually works or has worked with our public safety department, Resort Township, I believe. Do you know the resort? So he has experience in not in public safety per se, but dealing with the public in difficult situations. He's a firefighter, those kind of things on the side. So he seems to be fitting right into it and very eager to get out there and address matters. So looking forward to digging through this pile that has built over the years of, not having someone or the ability to get out there and do that. So.
All right, good.
Yes, and then I did leave, online ZBA training for anyone that's interested. Let me know. If you've done it before and you want a refresher or you've not done it yet, be a great opportunity.
Yeah, I think I want to
Okay,
do that. Because it looks like it's go at your own pace.
it is. Correct. Yep, it's online and there's different sections. You just go through it as you
Okay.
can. So, correct.
Yeah.
So do we need to fill anything out or?
Nope, if you know now that you want to do it, you can just let me know and I'll get you registered.
Okay,
I'll
and then
just
I
send
would
out
just
that
start
information.
whenever I can.
Mhm.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Okay,
And I would recommend that because
Yeah.
you
I think you
always
sign it.
learn something.
Right.
You come away with something new or just reinforces things. It's like, okay, we are doing that the right way.
Yeah,
It's-
and I think because I did the one twice that it was like a,
A Zoom
So-
one.
yeah, but it wasn't MSU.
Mhm.
And I found that when I took it the second time, it was quite similar, I mean, it did, not that I remembered everything, but it like came back to me. So that's why I would like to do something with a different organization. So I think I would like this through MSU. So, yeah, great.
Laura, you mentioned that, I don't know, building construction or remodeling or whatever. And so that I can hear a 3-sentence summary of what the heck were you talking about. You remember you were just explaining, you asked a question of the status of.
Oh, the Matt Friends property.
Yeah, that-
Oh, he built a deck and then he built a roof over it that attached to his house and it encroached into the side yard setback. And this was all during COVID, so it was all meeting by Zoom. The board felt that he was out of compliance and needed to remedy that. He did not agree vehemently and lengthily. And took the city to the Court of Appeals. He lost. Then he tried to take it to the next level, which is, I'm sorry, he took it to circuit court.
To circuit court,
Lost, and then
he filed an application for leave to appeal in the Court of Appeals.
denied.
That was denied.
They denied it. That's the end of it, though.
Then that's the end of it.
Right. Then he came back to the city and said, well, you're spending a lot of money on legal fees. And I'd like to help you out here. Let's sit down and talk about it. And the city said, no, you have to come into compliance. And he has yet to do so. And so there we are.
Hmm.
The property is on
Michigan.
Michigan Street. I think the block up from your office.
Going up Michigan.
going up Michigan.
All right,
I can,
give me,
I'll find this,
okay,
that information.
thank you. Now I know.
I have to go.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
Technology is not working.
Oh, no. Oh, great.
I apologize to all of you for running in late.
No,
It
No,
was
that
that,
was fine.
it was that 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. But I will strive to do better.
No, hey,
All right.
it's all about the learning curve.
And I have a lot to learn.
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
I move.
So-
You don't want to sit there for that.
Well, thank